So you can, and of course there still are, the grow lights
Yeah, the old
that have a
style
better
grow
spectrum.
lights.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and they'll probably be marketed that way,
Mm-hmm.
for plants versus, a lot of the other lighting,
Yeah.
softer in the hues and more for
Mm-hmm.
people, because some of those lights are so bright. It's almost like white
Yeah.
light. Where you really need a lot of light in a workshop or someplace where you need a lot of light to do detailed work on things.
Well,
In other situations, we don't need that as much, but still, there's good lighting, very good
Mhm.
lighting out there for plants, and some of it's even that pinkish or purplish. You'll sometimes go by a greenhouse, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll be this flooded in this pink light, but that's just the grow light, the spectrum
Uh-huh.
that is better for plants.
So there's
perform.
different color gradients that
Yes.
can affect it. What about the heat? Because an old style incandescent, that's a hot bulb,
Right.
as opposed to an old style fluorescent, that's a cool light.
Yes.
And the new styles, when fluorescents aren't so much a thing anymore, as much as they used to be, the new style might have some other type of light that is. Talk about heat overall and coming from your light bulbs.
Most of these newer ones are more the fluorescent, cool
Mm-hmm.
types,
And you want
but
that.
that do not give off heat, so you can get them close to plants and not have to worry about the heat factor or the burning, like an old incandescent bulb. Yeah, most all of these they don't have to be any distance away. You set it up more to make sure you get the light intensity that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Get it close enough that the plants won't stretch, that they're getting enough light that they won't stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we can really tell if a plant's getting enough light or not in how it grows. Is it getting leggy? So it's stretching out, and it may reach out, it may bend over and grow towards the light,
Mm-hmm.
because it senses that there's more light here, so I'm going to grow over
It's
instead of up.
It's thirsty
it'll go
for
over.
light.
Yes, yeah. So it'll get the stems will get weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, you might get more distance between sets of leaves, so that internodes, we call them. So the distance of the stem between sets of leaves, so that will stretch and get longer. You might get less leaves. There'll be weaker growth because they're trying to reach out for that. And they may go in a direction you don't want them to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that signals, okay, we're not getting enough light on this plant. If we want it to be more compact, if we want it to grow straighter, we either need to rotate, and if we can't adjust the light, then we need to periodically rotate the whole plant.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it a quarter turn, so that growth will tend to straighten up over time if we rotate it around. And then, or if we can add light to it, or if we can move it
Mm-hmm.
to another area that naturally gets more light.
What about and this might become more of an issue come January or February when we're trying to grow plants indoors and maybe growing them from seeds, as opposed to an established plant that we've had decorative outside. Maybe we want to start our tomato plants early, or something like that, or start growing lettuce from seed. Are the lighting requirements different for growing something from seed as opposed to something that is already established?
It can be. There are seeds. There are some flower seeds that need to be in the dark to germinate, and then once they germinate, but they usually say that on the label, or when you look up the information of how to grow this plant, it may say that it needs germinated in the dark. If it doesn't say anything at all, then it probably doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need a lot of light it's more temperature and moisture to get the seed to germinate. And then once it's up, though, then we need, and pokes through the ground, then we need light on there to get it going.
Okay.
So and then usually with seedlings like that, we usually need that light source closer to it.
Uh-huh.
just in a room with typical lighting, then those, once it germinates and starts to grow, it may get leggy really quick, that little seedling, if it doesn't have the intensity of light it needs. So that's where we really need to, from a propagation perspective, have a different area set up where we can, either a shelf with an adjustable light or shelving where the light source is already set up that it's close to the, the plants, where whether you're using a flat, a tray, or however you're doing that. If it's pots, then you have to adjust that to get it to the right height. But anyway, we need it, to be within a couple of inches or so from that, where that little tiny plant has poked through the ground and is starting to grow. And then as it grows, then we need to be able to move that.
And do we still need to talk to them?
You can do that. I don't think it
buddies?
hurts. Yeah. That can be good for you and and good for the plant. Air, that's another thing when you're starting plants.
Oh, yeah?
If you have just a little blower that can move air.
Like a little fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a countertop fan or anything that can make some air.
You need circulation.
That's the thing we don't get inside that we have outside. And that helps strengthen plants, make them stronger. So we can have weaker seedlings if they're just there and there's no air movement. That natural air moving outside will strengthen that plant.
A little resistance.
Yeah. And that makes it stiffer, the stem tougher, and so it's stronger. And then as it grows, able to support the leaves and other branches as that plant grows. That's one of the reasons, like on trees, we don't want to stake them too tight or stake them at all. That you have to look at your situation and make a decision. Is that tree, for example, out in an area where it gets a lot of wind? Then, yes, we may need a stake there just to keep it so that when it's planted, if it's a ball and burlap material especially, or even a container grown, that until it starts to develop roots and root out into the existing soil, that it's not going to go lean over in the wind, that it's able to do that. But in any case, we used to do it tight, where you'd put that in the ground and you might have 3 stakes or 4 stakes, and then you'd put a rope across there and keep that tight. Well, actually, that's not so good, because you want that to be able to just sway in the wind, because then the cellular or the structure of the plant is going to be stronger and it's going to get established better. So usually we only want to stake now where there's a real indication that, okay, we might have wind issues here, or we could have people issues. Might try to move the plant. So we stake that to just give it a little bit of support and keep things away. Weed trimmers, mowers, things like that, too.
Those things will Getting toward the month of November. It starts tomorrow. We're checking in on our plants that we have in the dark, our poinsettias and everything.
Yep.
They should still be in the dark for a good period of time.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that 12 plus hours. Bring them out in the day, put them in at night, or have them in a room that you can put a timer on it and make it dark in the night, and lights come on in the day.
Yeah. All righty. There you go. He's Bob Pollock from the Extension Service here this morning as we talk about plants on the indoors during this season, and as we get through the month of December, and we talk about some of the issues that come with those Christmas-oriented plants, we'll also begin to look ahead to plotting out the garden for next year. It's Indiana in the Morning. It is WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. We're just about 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Fox News comes your way then. We follow that with news from our WCCS newsroom with Josh Whittison. And in our next half hour here on Indiana in the Morning, did you know that there's a fife and drum corps in Indiana? Yeah. And we're going to learn about it. They've had their first performance. They've got more coming.